Rock and Roll Hall of Famers Pink Floyd are one of the most successful British exports of all time. I went to speak to the band's cultural director, Aubrey Powell.
What saddens me about a lot of today's musical stars is there's none of that aggressive political stance. And it's time, as far as I'm concerned, music hit the streets and the people hit the streets.
When does art become activism, and activism lead to lasting change? I've come to meet fine artist, first-generation Antiguan Alvin Kofi to discuss the power of art to transcend class and race.
So being an activist, say for instance, recording particular people in our community that are important to us, that stood for something in us, that's what art can do. Celebrating our traditional values, that's important, that's a way of activism. Issues come up like Grenville and will polarize people's focus on a particular point. But really what's going on in our community, the things that need to be resolved are much broader than that. So we get on with what we need to do in our communities, and that's creating independent organisations, independent bodies that have a grassroots and are connected. So me personally, I don't take too much note of what the UK government do or don't do, because I know our people will be getting on with it and rebuilding.
With nearly 30 years in the film industry, Academy Award-winning producer Mia Bays has worked on British cult classics Ill Manners and Shifty, plus the critically acclaimed feature Letters from Baghdad. We spoke about her first-hand experience of misrepresentation from London to Hollywood.
In the last few years, we really know that there have been some real issues around representation and discrimination and sexism, and I think it happens around class too, and a lot of it is we're really covert about our prejudices in the UK. And it wasn't until I started moving into production that I realised actually I didn't sound the same, that I hadn't been to Cambridge, I hadn't had a private education, and that most other people had. And then you also realise that so many of the people who are telling working class stories, of course we do tell those stories, aren't you, they're not from your class.
Our politicians are not moral leaders, they're businessmen. And in this case, a businessman that, totally his judgments and his wisdom, totally comes from this kind of capitalist model of beat the other guy. It doesn't exactly make you think as a nation or think as a community. It's all about getting over on the other guy. Something at the heart of competition and the heart of capitalism is, who gets the most stuff at the end.